Hey everybody out there, and today for you guys we are going to be doing a deck profile of a deck that is the namesake of this channel, and that is my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. I have been waiting so long to profile this deck for you guys. You have no idea. I've been playtesting this deck since August. I've been tweaking it. I've been trying different variations out, and at the end of the day, this is what I came up with. I'm definitely going to update this deck when Master Rule 4 comes out, or the updated version of Master Rule 4 in April. I definitely plan to do an update then. But I'm going to be honest with you, this deck is kind of, when I was building this deck, if you're playtesting already in Master Rule 4, I kind of kept that in the back of my mind when I was building this, redoing this deck the last week or two. When I was just finishing up to do the deck profile. The deck is going to become a lot more different in play style when the updated Master Rule 4 comes out. It's going to be a lot more versatile in the plays. A lot of people that I've talked to, they're like, well, it's always been, about the synchros and all this, and with Master Rule 4, it kind of hindered us. Well, now it's not going to be like that. The deck is going to be able to go for synchros and also be able to go for a lot of exceed plays and be a beat-down type of strategy to some degree. Now, this version is not a Guard Dragon variation of the deck. It does incorporate dangers and some Guard Dragon elements, but it's not a Guard Dragon Blue Eyes deck. It's a standard variation. If you haven't already seen on the channel, guys, I did a couple days ago a fusion variation, which I titled Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, because you can run Blue Eyes Shining Dragon. I also did a Chaos Max variation on the channel very recently, and I'm going to be doing within the next couple of days a Lord of the Red Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. So stay tuned to all those things coming out. As you guys know, I love Blue Eyes. It's not my favorite deck, but it is one of my favorite decks out there, and it's the namesake of the channel. So without talking for 2 minutes, I just wanted to, guys, give you a rundown of my thoughts with how this deck would proceed under the new Master Rule, especially if you're playtesting for the future, because that's going to happen as soon as you know it in a couple of months, and especially if you're going into national season. So first off, we got my 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. I've said this for the 7 years that I've had this channel. I've had these since I was a kid. These are my original Blue Eyes. These are some of my original cards. They're probably light played to near mint, and I've enjoyed them, and I'm so happy that I get to play them in 2020, which sounds so weird to say now, but yeah, I love this card. It's so awesome. Blue Eyes White Dragon, a legendary creature destruction. Only I have faced this monster and lived to tell the tale. Oh yeah, because I'm Seto Kaiba. Jokes aside. Next, we run 3 Blue Eyes Alternative. I'm kind of interested to see, because the movie pack's coming out again, and I think this guy's going to get a secret rare bump. I'm kind of interested to see how that looks when that does come out in January. But this card, you still run as a 3 of in the deck. It is a staple, hands down. Nothing's changed about that. It definitely can help you go for synchro plays, exceed plays, and a whole bunch of other different things. It's still a great card to have in the deck and a staple of. It's probably the most expensive part of this entire deck, still, sadly. But yeah, great card, great removal. It's been a staple since it came out. We also run 1 Dragon Spirit of White. We run 1 of this guy because he's still good in the deck to have. If we get into a format where it's heavy back row, you can run multiples, which is good, but he's pretty much your way of getting around back row and everything. But we run him as a 1-of. He's very useful. And don't forget his quick effect, too, that he can bring out Blue Eyes White Dragon to dodge effects. I have done that a couple times, and people just forget about it. Next, 3 White Stone of the Ancients, and 1 White Stone of Legend. And I know what people are going to say. Oh my gosh, he's running 3 White Stone of Ancients. It's once per turn. We don't run that anymore. I'm going to be honest. I don't care about the special summoning effect. I care a lot more about adding the Blue Eyes from the graveyard back to my hand. More or less nowadays. Yeah, I get to special summon a Blue Eyes from deck. Cool. Awesome. I still will use that effect, but I don't care about that effect. I care more about sending it to graveyard right away to banish it and add it back. Yes, we do not have we don't have, oh gosh, the freaking Dark Matter Dragon to send everything to graveyard, but I still run Dragon Shrine. I still run Foolish Burial on the deck to turbo out and help you get out of brick hands. And this card's a great card to discard off a Melody of the Awakened Dragons and half a dozen other cards in the deck. You run dangers. Yeah, it's awesome. Cool. Like if you have this in hand and you have a danger, great. That's pretty cool. Even if they don't hit the danger and they hit this instead, that's at least a plus still. You're sending it to the graveyard. Like, I understand why people don't like it. I get it. I see a lot of people running it as a 1 of or a 2 of now, I guess, but I still like this ratio of 3 Ancients and 1 White Stone. You will always run the White Stone because he's still useful in the deck to add things to your hand. But yeah. Also, Sage with the Eyes of Blue. He's not as important as he used to be, and I understand that. And from playtesting very recently, within the last week and a half, since about two and a half weeks now, since the updated Master Rule 4 came out, I was playtesting this and I was saying, is this card useful more now than it was in Master Rule 4? And my conclusion was yes. I see a lot of people running 1 of it, 2 of it. Some people even run none of it. I still love 3 of it. I still see people run 3 of it. And I understand why. Like, what do you do if you don't have a play to follow up? Well, okay, I understand that. But we have All Mirage, which we can use it to go into, and we have Link Karibo. Still decent. I mean, I have no complaints about the card. The card's still decent to search things out. You get to search out Effect Failure, which is cute. You get to search out the stones, which is cute. If you have cards of Consonance in hand, you can add a stone, pitch it, draw 2 cards. It's versatile. You are able to go for synchro plays. It adds stones to your hand, which you can use to pitch off Melody. The list goes on and on and on. I get it. Ash Blossom is a thing, but at the end of the day, I've had no problems with it. I've even used it a lot for Link fodder now. Like, it's fine. I like it at 3 of. That's just me personally. Next, we run 3 Bigfoot because he's blue and he looks like a Blue Eyes White Dragon, but he's not. I mean, maybe he looks great at you. I mean, maybe I'm colorblind, but whatever. Then we run a Blue Eyes Danger Thunderbird. Yeah, I called it Blue Eyes Danger Thunderbird. You can all laugh. This is the Danger package I run in the deck. From what I've seen is, I mean, if you run the Guard Dragon variation, you're running this deck completely different. I understand that. But the Danger variation, this variation which I'm running, is because this card's a upstart goblin for the deck, so it helps you get out of bricky hands, which the deck is susceptible to. But in addition to that, it helps you go for a level 8 Exceed plays, which with the new Master Rule, which I said I'm talking about this because it's going to happen right around the corner before you know it. It seems to me from playtesting that you're going to be going for more Link level 8s. In addition to that, this can help put in a lot of damage as well because they're big bodies, right? Like, there's no problem with that. And I've seen people run Nessies and whatnot, that's fine, but I just like this engine. Also the fact, because we do run Chaos Dragon Leviathan, Leviathan, and these are dark targets and you run lights, they do mesh well for that reason with Leviathan. And so there's some cute little plays you can do with the dark attribute. So the Danger engine we run in the deck, which I've had no complaints about since I put it in this past summer, finally, when I finally got off the Goliath engine. This is part, like I said, remember I was talking about earlier, I was talking about how I do run part of a Guard Dragon variation, but I'm not running Guard Dragons technically. I mean, you can try different variations if you want to, but this is what's worked for me. This card is really awesome. Some people run it as a 2 of, and I understand why. I've seen people cut Whitestone of the Ancients down to 2 of and run this as a 2 of, and I understand it. It's a great card. I love it. I love it. But I like it as a 1 of in the deck. It's so versatile. It's so useful. And it really is a great card to have in the deck as a 1 of. 2 of is okay. I would not go with 3 of in the deck. But 2 of you could play around with. Leviathan. Oh my gosh, this card's amazing. Like, first off, if you guys have played the meta anytime soon, this card's amazing. But in this deck, makes it even better. Like, it's perfect. I love it. I love this card in the deck, and I just love the different the power boost it gives the deck and how you can use it in multiple different ways. I've talked to some buddies of mine who I gave this deck, or was it like a week and a half ago, to a friend of mine who took it over to at locals over in Maryland, which was pretty competitive. I couldn't go. And then I know he took it down. He was playtesting it over there. And I asked him for his feedback because he had been helping me build this deck. And he said he loved the card in the deck. He loved this little package engine. And it just helped him out a lot. So personally, I love this little engine. Livenier you could run maybe as a 2 of. Starliege you could run as a 2 of. But I just like 1-in-1 in the deck. Sorry I'm going into so much detail here, guys. But it's going to speed up now because everything else is pretty much standard Blue Eyes White Dragon stuff. 3 Ash Blossom. Like, why not? Now, if you want to run Call by the Grave in the side deck, be my guest. Also, the 1 Effect Veiler because it is searchable, and it's great to have against certain matchups, and I still love it. So, yeah, 1 Effect Veiler and 3 Ash. 3 Melody of the Awakened Dragon. By the way, I was actually looking at my deck earlier today, and I noticed that the entire deck is finally hollow. After, you do not know how long that took me to do that. Like, finally, everything's like hollow in my Blue Eyes deck after freaking 7 years. So, golf clap. But yeah, 3 Melody, great card. Awesome artwork, I've always said it. But yeah, 3 Melody. 3 Trade-In. You have so many level 8s. It's your draw engine for your deck. We also run the 1 Cards of Consonance. Like I said, you can sometimes, if you draw this in a Sage, normal summon Sage, add a stone, pitch a stone, draw 2 cards. It's cool. Use the Sage for a different play, maybe, depending upon what you draw into, and there you go. You're off to the races. But yeah, this is the little draw package engine we run. 3 Return of the Dragon Lords. I decided after, how many years has it been? 6 years, we'll say, to cut Silver's Cry out of the deck because we have Monster Reborn back. And while I really, really, really love Monster Reborn in the deck, Silver's Cry in the deck, I decided not to run it. If you want to make room for Silver's Cry, be my guest, but I would probably consider running it if we were in a heavy back row format because you can abuse more of your 1 of Dragon Spirit of White to banish back row. But for right now, because when I'm in a heavy back row format, besides True Draco if you run into it, you don't need it. So I just run Return of the Dragon Lord and Monster Reborn now. I do miss Soul Charge. 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Dragon Shrine. These help unclunk your hands. Some people ask, why do you run Foolish and not double Dragon Shrine? It's because if you draw both of them in your opening hand, you can use both of them. Also, because Foolish doesn't, while this is an amazing card, I just like the Foolish in the deck because it's helpful to deck thin. Sometimes you may not have, I've had, this happened a lot back when I used to run double Dragon Shrine, is I would draw into a double Dragon Shrine and one was dead, but if I ran the Foolish and the Dragon Shrine and I drew into both, I was fine. And that's one of the other reasons why I decided to do that, because the fact of the matter is, if you ran double Dragon Shrine, you drew into both. That's not great. But if you drew into a Foolish, you're in better shape. I know it's not the greatest logic, but it's worked for me. And the couple times that when I was rebuilding the deck and running into double Dragon Shrine, I was like, I wish this was a Foolish Burial, and that's why I changed it. 1 Monster Reborn. It's Monster Reborn. Amazing card. And lastly, I'm still teching this bad boy out in the deck, and it's Won Me Games outright. And I understand why people don't run it, because it's a trap. And in 2020, we do not run generic traps, but it's still a great card. And so the Ultimate Creature of Destruction, I still run in the deck, and it has won me more games than I can tell you. Because I'll just have a Blue Eyes out in the field, use this, and it's just like, yep, good day to you, sir. So that's the main deck. Let's go into the extra deck quickly. Field Center, Seto Kaiba token, and Dragonite. Why do I have Dragonite in the extra deck? Because he's my favorite Pokemon. And if you guys didn't know me on this channel, I actually love Pokemon just as much as I do Yu-Gi-Oh! I just played Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game, not Pokemon the card game. 2 Dragon Spirit of White. A lot of people cut this down to 1 of, and I understand why. But from playtesting under the new rules, you're going to make 2 of them. 1 Azure Eyes. You can run 2 if you want to, but I like 1 of. And a 1 Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, because I found myself a lot of times making this bad boy to bounce things away in certain matchups. We also run 1 number 38 Hope Harbinger, Titanic Galaxy. 1 number 68 the Sky Prison thing. This card wins me games in certain matchups, so that's why I keep it in the extra deck, because at the times I've taken it out and I regret it, because it really helps you out against certain matchups. The Galaxy Eyes package, guys, there's not much to say about that. It's just the Galaxy Eyes package. The Fusion. Nobody runs it anymore, and I understand why. I get it. But I can't tell you, when I've been at locals and regionals even, how many times this card has won me games because of its effects. And after I made a promise last year, when I literally was in a situation at locals, and I won this game. I won this because I had this in my extra deck. If I didn't have that, I would have lost. But I keep it in there, and if you don't want to, you can take it out. Maybe run some more synchros. Maybe do something else. But that's just me. We run 1 Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. Great card. 1 Salamangreat Almirage. I still run it. It's very helpful. 1 Link Karibo. Phoenix and Unicorn. You could run, and I'm going to just say, you can run some of these other cards. You could run Ningrisu, the Orcus, the Evening Star. That's something I've been trying out. You could run the Galaxy Eyes one, which is not as good. You could also run Boral Sword if you want to, but that's up to you. But this is what I'm running right now, and I like it. And it's been working pretty well for me. Extra deck is still being played around with, I will admit that, but certain cards I have been finding under the new updated rulings will be better than others. Like if BA becomes more toxic, there are certain cards in this extra deck which will be helpful. But overall, guys, yeah, that's the deck in a nutshell. And like I said, I love this deck to pieces, guys. Like, I really, really enjoy this deck and love playing with it. It's been a staple on this channel for so many years. And I want to just say thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for loving Blue Eyes White Dragon all these years. And until next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. We will be updating this deck profile when the new master ruling comes out, if there's any changes. And I'll see you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you. If you enjoyed this deck profile, please leave a like or thumbs up. If you would like to see other versions of Blue Eyes White Dragon, definitely check out my channel. Take care, guys.